we're going to look at this case of baby Emmanuel Harrow over in America, in California. It's just crackers. You know, you're talking about a baby. Let me give you a little resume of this case, just in case you don't know about it. So this little baby that you can see in the picture there, supposedly 7 months old, but it's not clear exactly how old he was. Anyway, on the other side there, you've got the father, the big piece of shit, Jake Harrow, and the mother, who probably is a POS as well. And she said, you can see the black eye on her. She said that she was attacked while she was changing that baby's nappy outside a sports store, I think it was, or some sort of store. She was just about to change his nappy. Someone came up behind her, said, "Hola," and that's the last she knows. She turned around, she was punched in the face. She went unconscious, and when she came round, the attacker had disappeared and the baby had disappeared. That was her story. So, and that black eye that she's got on that picture, let's have a closer look at it, was supposed to have happened. This was the very next day. And we had a look, didn't we, at some black eyes, one that I had, one that one of my chatters had. You know, her black eye, and it's going all purpley as well. That was supposedly 10 o'clock the night before this picture was taken, when she got that black eye, which is obviously a load of rubbish. Then it turns out that her lovely husband, oh my God, she must have thought she'd won the lottery when she met Jake Harrow. He already had a conviction that he pled guilty to for child causing harm to a child, when one of his other children, because he's got 6 children, this piece of shit, one of his other children was literally only a matter of weeks old, Vanessa, when he attacked her brutally and gave her such bad brain damage that she can't, she's blind, she can't walk, she can't swallow, she needs 24-hour care for the rest of her life. So remember this for later. He's been convicted of that. He got no prison time, practically. The authorities, in my opinion, are culpable for Emmanuel's death as well, because this man should never have been around children. But he was allowed back around children. And anyway, I can't even keep talking about that because it's just so ridiculous. So when they get this case sorted out, they want to charge the judge as well that allowed him out and allowed him to go home and see his family and things. So he's already got form for that. Now, another thing that's come out, I mean, there's loads. So, you know, get a cup of tea and settle down, or, you know, fasten your seatbelt. Because then it turns out, so not only has he done that to one of his other children when she was just, you know, in a couple of month-old baby, now Emmanuel's disappeared, who's supposedly 7 months old. And, you know, in my opinion, looking at the photos of Emmanuel, it looks like he's already had some sort of trauma to him. You know, he can't, it's like he can't lift his head up, his eyes don't look right. This man's probably battered him from the minute he was born. And this thicko woman, the mother, if she can't even call herself a mother, she's allowed it to happen. And not only that, the latest thing was she did an interview while she's from prison, said he's a good father. He's a good father. He would never do that to a baby. He's already done it. He's already done it to a baby. What's she talking about? Can it be that she doesn't know about that? Can't be, can it? Oh, he's a good father. He would never do that to a baby. He has already done it to one of his babies. Am I living in a parallel universe or something? Do you know, am I the thicko or what? You know, I feel I'm like, you know, what's going on here? But anyway, more than that again. So, you know, just when you think it can't get any crazier. So Jake had a brother. And Jake's brother also died in that house. Now, I don't know how he died. But this is Hector Jacob Harrow on May the 6th, 2021. He died in that home. And I think it was JLR Investigates. Let's have a look. Who got up, I can't remember if it was him or Steve Fisher, one of the people that I follow on X, about all the times that the police had been called to the Harrow home. Loads. How many times have you had to call the police to your house? Possibly one, I don't know, possibly more than one, depends on circumstances. But you can see this when you have the records of the calls to the police. It's like a litany of calls. You know, who would have to call the police to the home that often? And one of the times the police had to be called was because this man died in the house. What happened to him? That's what I'd like to know. I'm just trying to see if I can find that where JLR put the list of things. No, put a list up of all the times the police had been called to the home, which probably won't be able to find now. I should have downloaded it and kept it. So why? Might be there, is it? So Jake Harrow had a brother named Hector who died inside his home in 2021, and Hector was on probation for fraud at the time of his death. How did he really die? I mean, I don't even know how he died. Oh, here it was. Yeah, it's Steve Fisher. Let's have a look at this. So Steve Fisher, this is the list of calls. I obtained all the calls for service Riverside County Sheriff's Department has been on at the address of Jake and Rebecca since 2020. This is only since 2020. But look at them, all these calls where the police have had to go out. And this one about the brother is this, death, which means unattended death. It means it wasn't in a doctor's care. But what happened to him? Did he have a heart attack? You know, I just don't know. How many of you out there have had the police called to your home this many times? No? How many of you? None of you, I would imagine. So it's a very, there's a lot of mystery around this guy, a lot of death around him, isn't it? Starting to remind me a bit of the Daybell, Laurie Vallow, and, one death in your family is a tragedy, as she calls them, family tragedies. Yeah, maybe one mysterious death, then another one, and then another one, and she's like got about 6 deaths, 6 bodies behind her, and she's still saying they were accidents or family tragedies, blaming it on everybody else except her. Is this how it's going to end up with this one? How many deaths follow him or accidents? He's got his little girl, the other little girl who's now being looked after by a family member. Thank God somebody's looking after her. She'll need care for the rest of her life because of what Jake Harrow, the big brick shithouse, did to her. The great big man who likes killing babies. Now we've got this brother that we don't know what happened to him, but he died in the same home. And now we've got Emmanuel. So that's 3, not 3 deaths maybe. Well, 2 deaths and 1 near death. What's going on? What else is going to come out? Honest to God, I've got a bad feeling about this. How many people and children, and how many has he killed? Uh, yeah, exactly, David. They've got their own mug. They've got their own mug at the Harrow House, the police, because they go there that often. They've probably got their own chair. So that was another thing that came out. So don't think that's it, because that's not it. So then Jake, of course. Oh, no, God, I don't even know where to go sometimes in this case. So now we're just going to turn to Thicko a minute, Rebecca. This is the mother. Now I've been trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and think, oh, I do think she's probably an abused woman. But I thought, oh, once she gets out into police custody, she gets away from Jake, she'll start telling the truth. Yeah? Oh, no. She's still saying that the baby was kidnapped. And she said about Jake, he's a good dad. He would never hurt a baby. He would never hurt a baby, but he already has. That's like saying about Ted Bundy or some other serial killer. Oh, he would never kill anyone. He has. He has. What's wrong with this woman? So she's in a place now where she's safe from Jake. She's in prison. Does she feel he can still reach out to her in prison? I mean, I don't know. He may have gang connections and things. Who knows? I mean, this guy is a piece of shit at the end of the day. But this is her opportunity to tell the truth. So let's just have a look at this video.
New developments tonight in the search for a missing baby in the Inland Empire. We now know his mother, who is currently in jail on suspicion of murder, maintains her child was kidnapped. Fox 11's Nick Garcia is live in downtown Riverside with what could be next in this investigation.
So just because of that footage that you saw there, so at the same time she's saying, oh yes, he was definitely kidnapped. And Big Jake is a good dad. He would never hurt a baby, even though he's already hurt a baby. At the same time all that's going on, Big Jake's out there trying to show, well, don't know if he's trying to show the police where the body is, because we haven't had any details from the police. But they're out searching, and he's there. So is he there to help them find the body? Or have they made him go out there because they've got suspicions where the body might be? We don't know. But anyway, no body was found. This baby hasn't been found yet. I do feel that he will be found. But again, when? I don't know. So at the same time, Thicko Rebecca is in prison saying he's a good dad and he wouldn't hurt a baby, and I still think my child was kidnapped. He's helping the police search for a body. So work that one out. Now, I suppose another possibility is maybe it was Jake who punched her in the face and kidnapped the baby, or one of his friends. Do you think that might be a possibility? Do you know what? You could not make this shit up, could you? You could not put this in a film and people would believe that it was real. That poor baby.
Nick?
All right, Susan, good evening. Well, Rebecca Haro is behind bars in that jail here in Riverside right now. The Riverside District Attorney's Office says a decision on filing has not been made yet, but we know that Rebecca and Jake Haro both face that count of murder. If those charges are filed, they could appear in court here tomorrow. It's a case that has captured national attention, the disappearance of infant Emmanuel Haro. Last week, his parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, were arrested for murder.
Whenever I see
now
that
Rebecca
guy
is speaking out from jail. She spoke with the Southern California News Group, insisting her baby was kidnapped, saying, quote, and Rebecca Haro were arrested
look at
for
the
murder.
state of him.
Rebecca Haro were
Hang on, sorry, I've just got to show this
murder.
again.
Now her parents, Jake and
Look
Rebecca.
at him. Great big guy. Well, both of them, no, she's not a tiny little thing either, is she? And that tiny little baby was at the mercy of these two horrors.
Haro
Need to
were
skip
arrested. The disappearance of infant Emmanuel Haro.
there. Look at the size of him. And, you know, he's only 31 or something. He can't even walk properly. He's just a lazy piece of shit who just, you know, probably the baby was interrupting his sleep because he's not, you know, he's got no work to do or anything, has he? But he was probably trying to have a nap because he was tired. And maybe the baby was crying and he got angry. Honestly, I hate this man so much.
Last week, his parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, were arrested for murder. Now Rebecca is speaking out from jail. She spoke with the Southern California News Group, insisting her baby was kidnapped, saying, quote, "I want to be out looking for my baby." She also spoke about her husband, saying, quote, "He's a good dad. He would never hurt a baby." That jailhouse.
Just obviously every time I hear it, I'm like, what? He has hurt, baby. He has. The other thing I just want to say, I don't know if she gets paid for those sort of interviews. I hope she bloody doesn't get paid. They've put it behind a paywall. I tried to find the actual interview itself, and I've noticed even on other news things, they're not showing the interview. I don't know if it was a phone interview or a face-to-face interview. But what gets off with these, like Laurie Vallow and others? How dare they be able to do interviews and get paid for them? You know, there's a baby disappeared, probably dead. She's charged for murder and she's doing an interview that she's probably been paid for because they've put it behind a paywall. She wasn't doing just an open interview to anyone. She's getting paid for it, no doubt. Shouldn't be allowed.
This interview happened Sunday, the same day Jake Haro, seen here in an orange jumpsuit, was brought by San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies to help look for Emmanuel's body near the 60 freeway in Moreno Valley. The body was not found, but detectives...
I mean, yeah, he's gone out there. And you're right, David, it is reminiscent, isn't it, of Ian Brady, like out on the moors. I don't know if he was wasting police time or he genuinely couldn't remember after all the years. I mean, there'd been a lot of years had gone past with Ian Brady. But, yeah, they're just like enjoying the control over the police, enjoying being out of the prison for a day. Or is it like, you know, it makes you think, did he just go off and, you know, throw that boy somewhere and now, you know, he wouldn't, it all looks the same, doesn't it? So how would you remember exactly where you'd thrown him? Tiny little baby. And then somebody else was saying, is it a possibility that somebody else took the baby to dispose of, and that's why Jake doesn't know exactly because he's just maybe been told, oh, it's in that area or whatever. I mean, who knows? Now, for the police to go out there with him, and again, you're right, David, it's like once he says they wouldn't be out there with him unless they were, you know, it's almost like a confession, isn't it? If he's taken them out there to look for a body, you know, that's a confession to murder, isn't it? I suppose another possibility is maybe when they did his phone data, they saw that he'd been in that area and maybe he said to them, he threw something else out there. Let's just say, for example, I don't know, can't think of anything, you know, disposed of some other sort of like a fridge or a tire or something, and he couldn't remember exactly where. So has he gone out there with them saying, no, it wasn't a body I was disposing of, and taking them out there to find whatever it is he's saying that he disposed of? Just a possibility, because we don't know. The police don't have to tell us, do they? They'll tell us in their good time.
Do believe the baby is dead. Sunday night, a growing memorial outside the Haro home in Cabazon.
Beautiful that baby Emmanuel gets the support. It's very unfortunate that you know, he wasn't able to get it while he was still here.
Concerned community members have gathered several times since baby Emmanuel.
All those people that care about Emmanuel and his own parents didn't give a shit. And to be honest, the authorities didn't give a shit, because the authorities, the judge that put that father back with his children, even when he was being talked to about this case, he had a 2-year-old child in his arms. Makes me feel sick.
Emmanuel's disappearance, hoping he will be found. As of Monday afternoon, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department has not located the boy's body.
Certainly the question on everyone's mind, where is baby Emmanuel? Again, if those charges are filed, we're keeping a close eye on it. If they're filed, they do expect to see them appear in court here in Riverside tomorrow. In the meantime, though, both Jake and Rebecca Haro are being held without bail. Live in downtown Riverside, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Oh, so very sad, isn't it? So very sad. This poor baby just needs to be found. Now, I'm just going to show you this from Steve Fisher. He went out with his drone and filmed the area. You know, and you can see it's quite remote, isn't it? Ooh. So he took some drone for this is the area. Now, you know, what did he just toss him there? Or I mean, what? You would think it would be easy to see with a drone if there was anything strange. Now, Steve is an expert in finding missing people. He's a private investigator. But he's found many missing people, and he's very, I love following him on X. He gives some really important insights. And in this particular case, he's actually gone there. Now, another interesting thing he said in one of his tweets that I think is worth listening to is that one thing I'll note from spending the day in the Badlands area of Moreno Valley is that the dirt is as hard as cement. You would need professional tools to dig a makeshift grave. If any remains are there, I think the probability is that they're above ground. So just an observation by him. I'm going to read something else out in a minute that's a bit worrying. Now, he's given a lot, you know, follow him on X. He gives a lot of information. You know, according to his opinion. And this is interesting because what he's done with gone there with his drone, and then he's highlighted some parts that he would like to see a cadaver dog inspect. You know, newly disturbed ground, I suppose. Yeah. So the thing is, if Emmanuel has been missing for months, then they have had months to dig a hole, I suppose. But he was saying how hard the ground is. But yeah, you can see these are disturbed earth, one way or another. Now, a few people have said, like this person is saying, about because, of course, the other weird thing that happened, wasn't it, was when the other property was set on fire by all these vagrants, according, you know, supposedly. And, you know, some people think maybe Jake had paid those vagrants to set fire to that house so that because the baby was there. But so this person says, did you watch the YouTube footage last night of some vagrants that ran into the neighbour's yard across the street and the abandoned RV and ran away? That was all caught on film. That's the other thing. You think that's a bit stupid, isn't it, if it's all caught on film? But the house in front of the RV also burned down. I bet the baby was under the RV or in it. And this is something, you know, it's feasible. But he says, I was actually there where it happened. There were multiple arson investigators that sifted through everything after the fire was put out. So they would have found something. You know, even with little April Jones, do you remember that, when I think it's thought that her killer, he burnt her in the fireplace? They did find remnants. I think they will always find something. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe something will come out. I don't know. Yeah, you never can totally cremate them, David, though. As I say, even with April Jones, they found splinters, didn't they, or teeth. You'd be surprised what can survive a fire, because the baby would have had some milk teeth at least. I don't know, though. I don't know. The time will tell when the investigation continues. Yeah. He wouldn't, he's dead. He's definitely not far away, that baby. And I think when they went far away, if you like, when they said that Emmanuel was kidnapped, that was a little distance away. That's to create distance from the scene. But I think Emmanuel is around there somewhere, and he may have been in that house or so. But it just seems all a bit obvious to me. I don't know. But anyway, possibly. But I do think they would have found something. You can't dispose, with April Jones. They found something. They won't find the whole thing, the whole body, but they'll find something. And they're trained in doing that, aren't they? Finding things, especially. Yeah, but April Jones was a small child as well, David. They still something survives. Not, they're experts in doing that, of course. That's what they do for a living, sifting through. But you could be right, but I don't believe it personally. Hi, Heather. I think he is there somewhere roundabout. I don't know why they went out to that area. Maybe he is just trying to distract them. Maybe he's thinking nobody, no crime. If they can't find Emmanuel, they won't be able to hold me for murder. They don't know that he hasn't been kidnapped. I think there'll be lots, obviously, that we don't know as well, that the police will know, isn't there? So that's what happens in every case, isn't it? Sometimes it's not until it comes to the trial that you find out all these things. So my trust is always with the police investigators, even though sometimes right in the beginning of cases they can cock up a bit. I think as time goes on, then once they fasten in and start, it takes time. Nothing gets solved quickly, does it? Especially when it's forensic tests and things like that. It takes time, and people want answers quickly. Now, the other mad thing that's come up is, in fact, I think Steve was mentioning that, but I think I turned this in. Anyway, I'm going to just mention it. I'm hoping it won't happen. But now there's some sort of talk about the San Bernardino police shouldn't have got involved because this is a cross-border case, because the kidnapping happened in one state, is it? And where they think the murder happened is in another or something. So, there's all that going on as well at the moment. So I think we'll just watch one more video about this and then we'll move on. How are you, Heather? Hope you're well. Let's watch this.
Authorities are still searching for a missing 7-month-old baby who is presumed dead. The child's mother and father were arrested on Friday. They're accused of faking the boy's kidnapping. KTLA's Jacqueline Sarkeesian live in San Bernardino now with the latest. Jacqueline, good morning.
Hey, Jess, good morning to you as well. A heartbreaking turn of events here involving this story, but the father was seen yesterday helping detectives with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department locating the body of Emmanuel, his 7-month-old baby. The parents were arrested early Friday morning after nearly 2 weeks of the baby allegedly being kidnapped. We're going to show you some video coming into our newsroom with the father helping detectives. Yesterday, we have video of him on the ground, and you can see cameras capturing Jake Harrow, the infant's father, dressed in a brightly colored jail jumpsuit, assisting in the search for the remains of his missing baby. He was joined by San Bernardino County detectives Sunday in a remote stretch of the 60 freeway near Gilman Springs Road in Moreno Valley. Cadaver dogs were there as well. The Sheriff's Department ended the search last night and said Emmanuel was...
No, the more I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking, had they been tracking his phone data and saw that he went to that area, so they've taken him, then he's probably like, oh, I just stopped for a wee, or I just whatever, I don't know. That's a possibility, isn't it? That they've made him go there with them because maybe they feel that baby Emmanuel is there somewhere, but he may not have said anything to them.
Not found, and the investigation to find him continues. Jake and Rebecca Harrow, the parents, were arrested Friday morning at their home in Camazon. You're looking at newly released booking photos of the couple. They're being held without bail. Over the weekend, there was a vigil for the baby. So many people heartbroken and
now he, in these mugshots, look, he just looks evil, doesn't he? What do women see in him? What do women, and honestly, these women, they need a lobotomy or something. If they're looking at that and finding that attractive, he's got cold eyes, he's sneering, he can't say he's got a nice personality, can you? He's like strangled a baby before. He's got felony charges, he's got gun charges. She really must have thought she'd won the lottery when she met this guy. What do women see in men like that? Honestly, I literally do not. Does he give her is he giving her drugs or something? You know what I mean? Makes you wonder. I used to, is it like some sort of love potion or whatever? Because what could you see in him? He has nothing. He's not a nice person. He's not good looking. He hasn't got a good body. He hasn't got anything going for him. Nothing visible anyway. And then I look at her and I think, her eyes actually look about the same then. You start, as I say, all my sympathy that I might have had for her in the beginning for thinking she was a battered woman, it's gone, going. And actually, when I look at that picture, is it my imagination or does she look like she's almost smirking? She's got this dupe and delight there. Maybe she's just as bad as him. Nasty bitch at the end of the day, probably. Really, you'd have to be a pretty nasty bitch to end up with a nasty piece of work like him. And is she smirking because she's thinking she's going to be famous now and get all this money for interviews and what have you? This is the way some people's minds work. And that's what we have to remember. Some people don't have children because the joy of having children. They have children because it's another you can claim more money from the welfare state or whatever, or just try and keep a piece of shit like this. Oh my God, he's the sort of man you'd be bloody delighted when he met someone else, wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh, you're leaving me, oh, shame. And then you'd be cracking open the carver after he'd walked out the door. Oh my God, finally got rid of him. Not her though, no. He's a good dad. He would never hurt a baby, even though he already has. Idiot.
shocked with the turn of events.
I'm hurt by it, because I wanted to believe that baby is alive.
Crazy, sad, sick. I could do that to a child.
Oh.
The case started nearly 2 weeks ago when Rebecca told deputies she had been attacked in the parking lot of a Big Five sporting goods store in Yucaipa while changing her son's diaper. She claimed to have lost consciousness during the assault, and when she came to, Emmanuel was gone. But detectives say there were major inconsistencies with that story. Rebecca later stopped cooperating with investigators, and they now believe the reported kidnapping never happened. Search warrants were served at the couple's home, and detectives say the evidence points to a far more tragic.
Do you know that just in that moment, then watching them both together like that, do you know who they reminded me of? Do you remember? Let's see, I'm going to put them together. They reminded me of the Philpotts. Remember Mick Philpott and Myreed, who she's free now, isn't she? Murdered their children. 7, was it? 7 children. How many? God, I've lost count of how many children it was. And like she's looking at him for approval, and he's pretending to be upset. And you can imagine probably when they got back into the house, Remember when Mick was saying to Mary, did you cry? Did you cry? That's what he'd be saying now. Did you cry? Yeah, you made it. You did a good job. You cried. Like talking about after what performance they put on.
Emmanuel was gone, but detectives say there were major inconsistencies with that story. Rebecca later stopped cooperating with investigators, and they now believe the reported kidnapping never happened. Search warrants were served at the couple's home, and detectives say the evidence points to a far more tragic ending. They now believe Emmanuel is dead and are still looking for his body. We've learned that Jake Harrow, the father, has a criminal history, including a 2018 conviction for child cruelty. He was also just arrested last month for illegal gun possession while still on probation. And authorities during this investigation, social services removed another child of theirs from their home, a 2-year-old child. We have learned, according to detectives, that the couple is expected to make their first court appearance tomorrow morning at the Riverside Hall of Justice. Reporting live from San Bernardino, Jacqueline Sarkeesian, KTLA 5 News.
So I'm presuming that'll be this morning or this afternoon in Spanish time when they'll be making their court appearance. I don't know. Yeah. Awful. And, you know, I was thinking about it. It's like nobody cares about these children because, you know what, the judge didn't care about the children. That little baby that he strangled and left disabled for the rest of her life, his own daughter, the judge didn't care because he never even got a proper prison sentence. So nobody cares about these children. We care when we're watching these things and we get outraged. But, you know, we're not in the position of power that we can do anything. We're not the parents and we're not the judge or the social services. They're the ones that have it in their power to help children. They don't give a shit, do they really? What that judge didn't care about Vanessa or Jake Harrow's future children. No, it's just nobody cares except us and like that community there, they cared. But they're not the people that are in a position to care for these children. Just terrible, terrible. Right, so going to stop talking about that and get outraged about